They still will be.
Oh, fuck it.
Hello, and welcome back to
ShootFilmsNow,
the home of filmmaking heresy. Today we're going to talk about casting and crewing.
Cancel the record.
Casting and crewing is probably going to be your hardest little struggle. Why? Because so far, with the scripts and with the equipment, you haven't had to involve anybody else. All of a sudden, you're going to have to involve other people. Now, how to get the other people? That is always a problem.
I've been following your campaign with great interest.
Do I know you?
No.
Then why pretend that I do?
Now, the first place you might think you're going to look is friends. Of course you can get friends. Friends are going to be fine. They'll be acting your scene, won't they? Don't you believe it? They're probably the worst people to actually go for. Your mates come along or they don't come along, you set a date on this sort of Sunday afternoon, they turn up a couple of hours later. If you are asking them to act in the scene, maybe they've learned some lines, maybe they haven't, maybe they couldn't give a toss, maybe they actually got a hot date the night before, and so they won't even turn up.
One has to be there for the people.
I didn't come here for your
If
people.
you just happen to say go up in a bar and just say to, say, a gorgeous bird, would you like to be in my movie? You'd probably get the wrong idea.
Let's just get on with this.
Means you're going to have to enlist the help of strangers, and that means because they're strangers you're going to have to rely on the written word. Now, to make things simple, what I've done is I've put up a few bits and pieces online so that you can just maybe have an idea, have a little map or a template where the sort of things that you're actually going to offer, because make no mistake, you're going to have to offer something.
You mentioned in your message a name. Simeon.
You'll notice straight away that when you actually try to inspire people to be on your project, the first thing they're going to be saying to you is like, oh, well, what have you done before? And that is going to be the trouble. That's going to be the thing that first holds you back when you're actually trying to make your initial project. And that's what we're doing here. The next ones will be easier because you'll have something to show.
An unusual name. Uncommon even.
Enough to get you out here.
And so what they're going to be after, both the cast and the crew, is basically real material stuff that they can show to other people to inspire the actual other people to be on their film projects. And also the other thing that they're going to be wanting is experience. The more you do it, the better you get.
A son, of course, is the jewel of every mother's
So
eye.
first golden rule is once you've actually made the thing, make sure you get copies to them. Then that means that then they will probably want to be in your next film. So you start building up a pool of actors. Some of them you're not going to like, other ones you are going to like, you're going to get them like a house on fire, but that either way, you're going to keep them.
Tainted, perhaps, when the birth occurs at the age of 17.
Of course, the trouble is, at the moment, you've got nothing, and you are going to have to basically say, like, well, I'm trying to put together this and this and this, but don't be frightened to point them in the direction.
ShootFilmsNow,
Because
ShootFilmsNow.
very quickly and very simply tell them the sort of thing that they're actually up to. It will also provide examples of other filmmakers, if you look at the films of the week, who have already done something along your line.
Something which your father covered up very well.
So whereabouts can you actually get crew? Now, of course, crew that call themselves crew have probably been to film school and this sort of thing, so they are probably like they'll want money or something like that, and they'll probably look down on you. So, in fact, you're probably after people that are quite like yourself. And so really the best place to looking for those sort of things is really, I think, this is what I would recommend, is basically the social networking sites.
When he was born, I'm sure the thought crossed your mind of caring for him.
The king of that, of course, is Facebook. You can actually put up a thing on Facebook, and I'm going to scribble down a thing the sort of thing that you might post as an entry on Facebook, just to give you, again, like something to get you going.
Be more than enough.
Other ones, and this I would thoroughly recommend, because after all, you're going to be wanting people in your neighbourhood. You can look at things like Stage 32, you can look at things like Shooting People, for example, you can look at Mandy's still going, I'm not too sure, but anyway, you can look at things like Mandy. The trouble is, a lot of those things are going to be people based in New York and NY and stuff like that. So what I would recommend, and what I've used actually, like in the past, is first of all, like in the UK, there's a Talent Circle, which isn't bad. Skill Pages, I think, I'm not too sure they might have gone bankrupt. But there's also things like Meetup. Meetup, if you look at things like short film meeting groups, You'll actually see people there who are interested in short films and stuff, and you can go along and you can just chat to other people, and chances are they probably wouldn't mind actually like helping out on film, or you know, actually becoming, there may well be people who are like want to become filmmakers themselves. They're into short films. Those sort of people tend to actually like it, and that means that you'll get people, because of the meetup, the way that meetup actually operates, you'll get people that are actually like in your area. Likewise, if you're not completely a computer person, you may find people who are actually more editors and stuff like that. So they'd be like to actually like, you know, get editing experience and stuff like that.
Caring, understanding, giving.
So, on the acting side of things, again, Facebook is actually a very good way of actually doing it. Just put the thing out, promising. What are you promising? Above all, right, with the thing is you are promising a copy of the material, so make sure you don't let them down. Every actor nowadays needs a show reel. So a lot of actors who haven't got a show reel for one reason or another, or maybe they've taught material on that they don't really like, are quite keen on like acting in things. They'll act in things like student films, and you know, they don't get the stuff for months and months and months, or they will approach actually showreel companies who will actually make scenes for them.
You knew this day would come.
As regards where you're going to do the sort of like meetings and stuff like that, well, I think you're really going to have to be like keyed. I'm assuming it's not really a good thing to actually sort of say, I'll come back to my flat or something. So really, if you just do something like, you know, meet in a cafe or in a bar or something like that, it should be okay. You should find that won't be, you know, too bad an experience.
When what you once described as the cancer in your belly.
The sort of places where you can, once you've got more stuff, and I don't think straight on the earliest one it would be the best thing, are things like Casting Call Pro, Star Now. There is things like there are things like Casting Now is another one, and also things like Spotlight. But these things tend to be ones where they're actually offering money. It could be that they're no money, but they're probably a little bit more grandiose than the sort of thing, and so therefore it will get more convoluted. So I think like leave them more for the next stage.
Will become a man and speak for himself.
Okay then, so that's all you need to know about casting. The next thing we're going to be doing is actually going on to the shooting. How to shoot it, how to organise the shooting. So in other words, it's both the shooting and the producing. See you then.
Shoot Films Now.